Hello and welcome. This is Ruth Hamilton and thanks very much for joining me today again. Today I have the We Are Memory Keepers punch board, and this is a pillow box punch board today. So this is not a brand new product, as most of you will know, but I haven't had it for very long and I certainly haven't had time to have a play with it. It's still in stock in lots of places and it's still a very wantable and usable product. So I thought today, after I had some time to use it last night, and I actually thought I might just make one or two samples just to see how it went, and I ended up with 10 different samples all sitting here. I've actually got a pile of them beside me. I just got so carried away with it that I thought this morning I'll do a nice little video and show you all what this little machine or piece of equipment is capable of. So if you haven't already seen it, it's actually very compact. I'll just bring it out of the packaging. So there it is beside my hands. That's the size of it, and there's a little scoring tool in here that just pulls out there. Now this will be a scorer for going down these little grooves and around this one, and also you can burnish the folds of your paper and card on it as well. And this is the punch, and then the guidelines are here, and it is so simple. Now I actually opened up the this instruction leaflet that comes inside it, and I looked and I thought, right, there's a lot of steps there because there's 9 on that side and another 9 on that side, and I thought that might take a long time to make a pillow box, but actually it could not be simpler. So the first thing that I did was make one sort of basic pillow box. That's this one. You'll notice that it says on the instructions and on here that you trim the paper width to 6 inches, so that's 15.2 centimetres, and you trim the length to anywhere between 4 inches and 12 inches. So long as this is 6 inches across the way, and that's the piece you're going to put in this way, it can be anything from 4 inches to 12, and I'll just show you how different that looks on a little pillow box. So this is a 4-inch one, and I'll show you how to make that little bag in a moment or two, and this is a 12-inch one, and you can make that the same depth this way with this board, but any length in between of those two. So that gives quite a lot of scope for all sorts of things to go inside that, I thought. And it's as easy as this. I'll just show you. It says butt this paper up to the top of the punch board, and this is the guideline down the centre here, and you'll put it just down there and then punch. Now you'll take this little piece of equipment and score around there. There's a little groove, so it just goes into it very easily, and then you'll see there's a notch there and a notch here, and you'll just come down there. And then what you do next is you just move this over, and it fits into here. It says Nook, and there's no way it's going to go anywhere past that. It's just so easy. It just fits in there so nicely. Press down again, and then follow this score line right round here again, and this one down here, and then you move it over so that this one is at the edge. It just fits in there nicely, and this little notch will show you that that's in direct line with here, and you're just going to score around there again on that curve and punch, and there you are. So then you will flip it over like this and do the same thing on the opposite side. And that's how it looks when it's finished then. And if you want a little notch in here, just in this centre section, you just put it in the top here and press this down again, and there's your little notch. So that really couldn't be easier. Now you've got a little bit of waste there, but there's so little waste with it, it's unbelievable actually. So take your little folder, bone folder, or scorer, or whatever that's called, and fold all these over, and then this part here, just on this little tab at the end, what I would call the half part of it, you just want to follow the curve that you have scored into that and cut that off. Now, depending on the paper that you're using or whatever, sometimes I trim that off so that there's not as deep a part on the inside, but it doesn't actually matter. But on this one here that I made earlier, I've got some acetate in behind, and I used a die cut in there, so you wouldn't want this full width in behind, or that would show in there, so you could actually just trim it off around here. But all you need to do now is add some double-sided tape or some glue, whatever you prefer. So you want it right up to that edge, but you also want it right out to this edge, which is why I've put it over the edge a little bit and trimmed it off, because you don't want to start it in here, otherwise it won't attach right up to the end. So I'll nip that off first, and then we'll just sort out those other score lines. So now what you want to do is just take these lines we've scored around the top. I find it's easiest if you just press them in the centre first, like so. And then you'll be able to follow the line right up to the edge and just pinch it. Now, just remove this tape, fold this part in and fold that part up. There's your pillow box. How easy was that? Fold that one in and this one over. And there's your pillow box. That is so easy. I know there's a lot of instructions on there, but that is how easy that is to make. Now after that, obviously, you can decorate them in all different ways. You can add a band around it. Now, pardon me, I have varied the width slightly then, so I've taken this one and I've added a little digi image that I coloured in and put a little bow on there. That's just a slightly bigger one. On this one, which is the same size, I used a large heart punch, but you may have a die cut or a die or whatever, and I've put a heart over the top there with just the little scalloped part at the top coming on the front, 2 buttons and a little bit of lace on each side, and decorated that one that way. Here's a slightly bigger one again, so just to show you the different widths of them. And on this one I've added some washi tape around. This is the one I showed you earlier, but I will show you how to do this because you want to do the die cutting before you decorate it, before you make it up. And the little piece that I took out of the centre then, I added onto this one. I actually didn't intend to make so many, as I said earlier. I just lifted a random paper pad that I had, chopped some paper up, and away I went, and I really just didn't want to stop. So this one turned out rather nice as well. The pattern on the paper then was at this side, slightly longer again, and I put washi tape and a little bow on there, and these all coordinate, so they turned out well. Then I have a little folder here, and you can see you can put something inside that, so whatever, a little sachet of something, or even a little piece of cutlery or something like that. That could be a little place setting. And then this one opens up. I've just put a little loop in there, but that one opens up, and that's a little packet rather than a pillow box. And then I've made a bookmark. So I will set these ones over and show you how to make some of these different ones, because you really need to know how many different things you can do with this. And I'm sure some of you will come up with a lot of ideas of your own as well. I've got some 6x6 paper this time, and this is 180 JSM. So you can see that this comes off the edge, and the groove obviously will only go down to here. So that gets sorted out once you flip the paper over. So I'll just go ahead and make up the shape the way I did the last time. So set it in, punch down, score around, and then move over. this time I'm going to make a little aperture because I'm going to put the acetate in behind, like this one. So before you go and do anything else, you need to make that aperture. So I'm going to die cut this, and I'll just use this little oval die and take a piece out of there, and then I'll use the two dies together that I have. You could use anything at all, anything that's going to leave you a bit of a margin here so that the aperture is not so close to the fold, but also that fits in widthwise. So just whatever you fancy to put in there, but I'm going to use this one. So I've die cut my little aperture in the centre, and I've taken some acetate. Now you don't want very heavy acetate for this because it's going to bend a little. I've made that just big enough to fit on behind here, and I've added some double-sided sticky tape to the back of that. There we are. And then I took the two little dies together, and I've made a little frame part for the front. So I'm just going to glue that on now at this stage as well. And then I can go ahead and just make this up the way I made the other one up. The thing to remember with this one, which is why I'm showing you this instead of just another plain one, is that whenever you fold this over, you don't want to see that on the inside there through the... It's okay on this one because I've got double-sided paper, but if you haven't got double-sided paper, that will look a bit odd. So this time I just want to trim this part off. I don't need as long a length or as wide a piece on there. So I've taken the two groove parts off at the top there, and then I'm just going to trim this, and then we'll put the tape on and go ahead and make that up. Now you'll notice on that one that I didn't cut the little tabs out at the top. I've done that on some of them, but I haven't done it on them all because I'm not sure that I need it on them all. So you've got that choice as well, whether you want that or not. And then you just go ahead and decorate this up whatever way you like. If you're giving these as a gift and you've got something in them, they're quite easily stored like this because they're not too big. But if you're going to keep them and you're making multiple pillow boxes and you're going to store them until you need them, maybe for a wedding, for favour gifts or something like that, don't forget that you can just open these out and store them flat, and they'll take up much less room, and they'll also be probably in better condition if they're stored flat like that until you need them. That's just another little tip. So I'll get some paper cut and come back and make a little bag. This piece is 6 inches by 5.5 that I'm using for the little bag, and I've gone ahead and done everything that I need. I've cut it out, I've scored and folded it, and I've added the double-sided tape along this edge. I've also taken a little heart punch, and that's going to be the little closure on my bag, at least the little mock closure. So what I'm going to do there is, you can see I've just folded that over, and I've just put it into the little groove here, just set it on top of my little punch board, and just slightly below where that is, and keep it kind of parallel, and score along there, and then you'll be able to fold that over, and that piece will go on the back of the card and that will go on the front. So first of all, we want to flip this over. I've cut a piece of ribbon, and that's going to be for the little handle. So remember that when this folds up here, this will be the front of the card, and this will be the front of the pillow box, and this will be the top. So where the double-sided tape is there, I'm just going to take the backing off that, put this over at the back here, just so that I know where the centre of this is, and so that I get the ribbon on the right place at each side. So that's just going on the back there and not attached to the front. So you can see I just want to centre that as close as I can there. What I'm really doing is leaving myself enough space at the side to add this ribbon in, and then I'll just put that there over like so and down into here, and add a little piece of glue on there and fold that up. And then now I can add the glue onto the back of this part and fold that over, and then go ahead and fold these tabs in. That's the little bag now to decorate up. So I think the only thing to remember there is to add the ribbon into the top, because if you try to add it in afterwards, you're going to have little pieces of the end of it showing, and you don't want that. So it works really well if you just fold it and tuck it in there and then hold all that together until the glue dries. So I just added a little butterfly on there and some random gems, and that's the little bag, and that was so easy. I'm building up quite a collection on my left hand side here. There's loads of those. So this is the bookmark that I made earlier, and I'll show you how I've done that. So I've taken a piece of paper or card or whatever, and this is 6 centimeters wide, and it can be whatever length you like, but I want to round the top of it like this, so I'm just putting it in here at that line, punch, and then move it over and just make sure it's straight and level with this line, and there we've got it rounded at the top. So to make the piece that goes on top of that, you can see it's got this lovely V shape on it here. I've taken a piece of paper that is 5 centimeters wide, and on this side I've just marked the center of it. Now I think I need to do that down here just to get this little notch at it, so I'll just mark that first. This is the back of it, so I'll not need to worry too much. This time what I want to do is align that up in there, and whenever I punch that, then that will give a lovely V shape. And I can turn that over then and glue that on here. Now I could, if I wanted, I could leave that just glued down the sides and make that into a little pocket, but I'm just going to use it for decoration and use it the same way as I've done here. So I'll punch a little hole in the top, and I'll add some string or twine, and I'll glue this little bird and add some decoration on the bottom, and that's a little bookmark. To make this little sachet then, I've taken a piece of 6 by 5.5 inches, and I'm going to just put this in and line it up at that line, punch the top, score along there and down there. Now for the next bit, I'm just going to put that in and punch and score down here, but I'm not going to score along that part. Then I move it over, punch and score along there. On this end, what I want to do is line this up so that I've got that straight and score down here, and then we can flip that over. This time I'm not going to fold this in. What I'm going to do is follow that line and trim that off, and the same here, but down here I am going to leave one part on and take the others off, and I'll just chamfer those edges like this and here, and then I'll trim right across there. Now I'm going to cut these pieces off. So now you can see that that's going to be the base that folds in. I want to glue that on there, and I'll tuck that in behind. So just to do that, I normally take a little piece off here. You don't have to do this, but it just makes it simpler. And I'll add glue down there, because that's going to attach onto this tab, and this one will go in here. and I think you can see it there, I like to put the glue on them and then tuck one in behind the other, and then we have our little pocket. I've added on some music paper at the bottom there and a heart and then a little butterfly with 2 gems in the centre, and you can of course just leave that with the cut edge at the top, but I like to try and finish it off. I don't like just a raw edge there, so I've put the tiny gems on this time just to match the ones on the butterfly, and as you can see in this one I glued some ribbon on there, some lace ribbon. You could put whatever you like on, even some glitter glue along the edge of it, or just leave it if you fancy it that way, that's okay. Now if you've used double-sided paper, the inside of that will look nice from there as well. That actually is double-sided, but the inside of it is quite pale. So I've gone ahead and I have taken some of this music paper to match here, and I've cut it in exactly the same way as I did with the bookmark, and taken a tiny little sliver off it, and I'm going to glue that down inside there so that the whole thing matches perfectly. It doesn't need to be that long because you won't see it, it could be shorter, but I'm just going to go ahead and glue that in. I just wanted to show you that so that you know how that could look more finished at the end, and I think that looks really beautiful. So for my last little sachet, like this one, I've taken a piece of paper that measures 6 inches across this way and it's 5.5 this way, and I have done exactly the same thing as I normally would do. You can leave this part out if you want in this one. You don't necessarily have to mark these because I won't actually be folding them, I'm just showing where they are, but that doesn't have to be done in this case. So we've got this piece across here and here, and now we want a little piece at the bottom so that the whole thing holds together whenever you fold it over. So I have just set this in here and made sure it's level down there, and I'm going to score down that little channel, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, make sure it's level down there and continue that score line. Now as I've done in the other ones, I'm going to take this piece off. I'll just chamfer that little edge and that one, and then I'll cut right along this edge. And I think I will actually just remove a part of this. I don't have to do this, but I never like that to be too bulky. This piece will fold up, this piece will fold in, and again we're just going to glue this in together, but this time the little packet goes right up to the top like that. So I'll glue that together. I will punch a little hole in the top and decorate it, and we'll be back in just a second. I've just finished this one off with a little sticker here and some little gems on it. So they can be as easy as you want or as decorative as you like. You can spend more time and do lots of little fancy things, but the basics of this is very, very simple. It's very easy. The little punch board itself is so compact, and then this little scorer that I was using stuck in here, I've just mislaid it at the moment, but the whole idea and the principle of that is so easy and so much fun that I've actually got loads and loads of them made now. And last night I actually started to do this and only meant to go ahead and make 2 or 3 of them, but as you can see I have quite a bundle amassed by now. So I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I have. I'll add all the links to the punch board and whatever else down below. This is actually just paper that I had for a while, so it's probably not in vogue at the moment, but the punch board certainly is, and as you can see it doesn't even take up that much of your paper. So you could use scraps that you have as well, so long as it's 6 inches wide and you have a bit to come and go with, you can play with that and see what you come up with. So anyhow, thanks very, very much for watching, and Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd love you to do that, and give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and hit the notification bell so that you'll know next time there's a video coming up. And until then, thank you very, very much, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks a million. Bye bye.